This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Hello viewers, you're watching Pulse of Africa. I'm Jalanita Svaye for the main news. First, our top stories for today. Benin to invest $1.4 billion to boost tourism by 2030. Africa's telecom sector turns to renewable energy. UN chief condemns military escalation in Middle East. Now, the news in detail. Benin has approved a $1.4 billion strategic plan to develop its tourism, culture, and arts sector over the 2025-2029 period. The plan aims to attract 2 million visitors annually and increase the tourism sector's contribution to GDP from 6% to 13.4% by 2030. The strategy focuses on modernizing tourism operations, expanding offerings, and promoting culture as a creative economy pillar. A committee will oversee the plan's rollout, which includes upgrading heritage sites, new museums, resorts, and improved services. To support the initiative, Benin has already invested over 2 billion euros in infrastructure and destination branding. Kenya has announced a 4.2 trillion shilling or $32.5 billion budget for the 2025-26 fiscal year aimed at reviving economic growth. National Treasury Secretary John Mubadi said the government seeks to foster sustainable economic growth to improve livelihoods and promote businesses and industrial prosperity. In 2024, the economy grew by 4.7%, supported by positive growth across all sectors except construction and mining, Mubadi said. Looking ahead, Mubadi said the economy is expected to maintain its growth momentum in 2025 and 2026, with projections at 5.3% per year based on expectations of a stable macroeconomic environment in the medium term. The government targets $25.6 billion in revenue, with a $7.14 billion deficit to be financed through domestic and external borrowing. The South African Development Community said Thursday it started the second and final phased withdrawal of its troops from Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. The troops that were deployed under a mission known as SAMI DRC will travel through Tanzania, from where they will fly to their respective countries. The mission, involving forces from South Africa, Malawi, and Tanzania, began winding down in March after SADC ended its mandate. Despite the withdrawal, SADC pledged continued support for peace and stability in the region through diplomatic efforts. Africa's telecom sector is turning to renewable energy to reduce its carbon footprint as energy needs rise. Vodacom, one of the continent's largest telecom operators, announced that all electricity it purchases now comes from renewable sources, making it the first multinational telecom firm in Africa to reach this milestone. This move comes as mobile connectivity, data usage, and digital infrastructure continue to expand rapidly across the continent, driving up energy consumption. In the last fiscal year, Vodacom used 2,076 gigawatts of energy, including 1,275 gigawatts in purchased electricity. As internet use and data traffic grow rapidly, clean energy and efficient technologies like 5G help cut emissions. In other news, the Kremlin on Thursday said that Russia will be taking part in a summit of the BRICS bloc set to be held in Brazil next month. Russia is a founding member of BRICS, and of course it participates in all processes in all formats, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov told state news agency TASS. Peskov did not specify whether Russian President Vladimir Putin would be attending the summit in person or whether Moscow would be represented by another official. Rio de Janeiro on July 6 to 7 will host the 17th summit of BRICS, a bloc long made up of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, hence its name. Since last year, the bloc has expanded further with the addition of Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, the United Arab Emirates, and Indonesia as full members. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres condemned any military escalation in the Middle East, said Farhan Haq, his deputy spokesperson, in a statement on Israel's strikes against Iran on Thursday local time. The UN chief is particularly concerned by Israeli attacks on nuclear installations in Iran, while talks between Iran and the United States on the status of Iran's nuclear program are underway, the statement said. He stressed that UN member states are obliged to act in accordance with the UN Charter and international law. The Secretary General urged both sides to show maximum restraint and avoid at all costs a descent into deeper conflict, a situation that the region can hardly afford, the statement added.
The story of resurgent Ethiopia and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel, all the time. Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Now to business news. Morocco's industrial exports hit $43.8 billion in 2024, making up 88% of the nation's total exports, Industry Minister Riyad Mazrour said. Speaking at a session on macroeconomic policies and investment, Mazrour highlighted that industrial exports have grown more than fivefold since the early 2000s. The event is part of a national conference organized by the thematic working group responsible for evaluating public policies related to investment and employment in the House of Councillors. The FDI reached $1.8 billion in 2024, noting that this reflects the growing confidence of international investors in the Moroccan economy and its status as a prime investment destination. Boeing shares fell nearly 5% on Thursday following a fatal crash involving an Air India 7878 Dreamliner, marking the first such accident for the aircraft model. Flight 171, carrying 242 people, crashed into a medical college shortly after takeoff from the city of Ahmedabad in the western Indian state of Gujarat. According to air traffic control at the airport in Ahmedabad, the plane took off at 1:39 p.m. from runway 23. It gave a mayday call signaling an emergency, but there was no response after that. Before concluding, let us provide you with the latest updates on global commodities prices. Now to weather updates. That's all for today, and thanks for watching Pulse of Africa.
This is Pulse of Africa. The face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.